Hey friends, Rocky D here, and we're in the studio with John Steinberger, candidate for Charleston County Council. I want to ask you this right up, John. Fighting PC madness. Now, nobody knows more about that than I do. Politically correct, I'll tell you what it means. To lie to somebody to make them feel better. When you tell the truth and they don't like it, even though it's unfriendly, that's what politically incorrect is. Where do you stand on political correctness?
Well, Rocky, you know that political correctness is destroying our culture, and too many politicians are afraid to stand up and speak the truth. And I will be a loud voice against political correctness when it comes to issues like transgender bathrooms. I'm going to say no, we're not going to do that in Charleston County. We need to maintain our suburban community, so I'm not going to buy into the bike lane, mass transit, and high-density development agenda. And also we know that we're going to be dealing with Syrian refugees that come from all over. They're from North Africa, Somalia, and other places, and we need to stand up and say we don't want the Islamic refugees in our community. I'm not afraid of the media attacking me for being politically incorrect.
Do you think that the bike lane was a failed experiment? Because you and I both live in that area.
Well, I think it was part of the sustainable development agenda where they want to get us out of our cars and put us on bikes or make us ride the bus, and we're just not going to do that. West Ashley is a suburban community, and we need to keep it that way.
Just recently, 526 funding went belly up. Okay, they're not going to give us any money. Explain what happened and why it's wrong.
Well, apparently there were monumental mistakes by the Charleston County Council. The funding, $430 million, was approved back in 2012, and the council missed deadlines that the State Transportation Board expected completed. So there's a lot of answering to do. It tells you why we need new leadership on Charleston County Council.
When I first moved to West Ashley, I could, at 10 o'clock at night, have an evening flashlight picnic on Glen McConnell Parkway and not get hit by anything. Now, day or night, 24/7, it is a racetrack or a traffic jam. And they made it wider. And what did they get? A wider traffic jam.
With more high-density housing units.
When 4,000 or 5,000 being built down the street. Now, we want accessibility to the area, but how do we do that? Where do we put all these new people that are coming?
Well, we can't pack them into a suburban community and expect to keep our suburban lifestyle, so we have to be judicious about the permits that are granted.
Why are the roads such a mess? And I'm not talking about potholes. That happens anywhere you go. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. Why is it that everybody is stuck in traffic jams? I got stuck in a jam coming here. And I'm thinking to myself, who are these people? Where are they all going? Who controls this? Does the local municipalities control it? Is it state? Is it federal? Who controls this stuff?
Well, one of our biggest problems in Charleston County is most of the roads are controlled by the South Carolina DOT. And they don't maintain the roads, and they can't even cut the grass. So we need local control of the roads with maintenance funding attached, and we'll have a better situation than we have now.
Whenever I get an official on, I say, well, who controls the roads? They say, which road? They're all controlled by something different.
I'll give you an example, Rocky. In my area, we have Old Town Road, which goes by Charlestown Landing, and it merges with Sam Rittenberg. And all we need is one stoplight at that suicide merge to prevent the problem. But the SCDOT will not grant a permit to put up a stoplight. That's why Charleston County needs control of that road. It's only 1 mile, and it's a state road.
Seems like they have to have somebody get hurt before you can do anything. Look what they did in our district here, St. Andrews Road. They painted on a bike lane. You know how many people have been hurt in that bike lane? Do you know when I'm riding my bike? You know how often I won't ride in that bike lane? Just because you paint something on the street doesn't make it safe.
And very few people use it, so it's part of an agenda that most people just don't want.
Yeah, and they don't know the rules. Yes, you can ride on the sidewalk if the speed limit exceeds what you can do. And for me, that's 12 miles an hour.
You're not Lance Armstrong.
And even Lance Armstrong wasn't Lance Armstrong in the end, as we found out. Another problem we have, standing water everywhere. We just redid Bees Ferry Road. It looks like Orlando now. I'm not sure I like it. It is prefab pretty if you want to go that way. But there are puddles and holes in this thing all over the place, and it's brand new.
Well, that was a big disaster. Bees Ferry Road was a swamp, and we never should have built thousands of homes there, so we have lots of standing water. The drainage system that was built into the Bees Ferry Road extension was substandard. The drains are too shallow, and there's lots of debris in the storm drains. We do not do preventive maintenance on our drainage system.
How do you fix it?
We got to make sure we do preventive maintenance, clean out the debris in the storm drains, clean out the debris in the ditches, and blow out the pipes. And we're paying for it in storm drain fees, but it's not getting done. We've got to hold the government employees accountable.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, every time you see a team, there's 4 guys leaning on shovels and 1 guy working. And then there's a guy walking around with a clipboard and a cell phone. I have yet to figure out what that guy's doing, but give him a shovel. Get him off the phone. As far as that, I took a bicycle trip around the new West Ashley, what do you call that, traffic circle?
The West Ashley Circle, the road to nowhere.
The road to no place, going no place. You saw the picture on Facebook. I went up and back for 25 minutes. 1 car went by. Now, this is on a sunny, beautiful weekend afternoon when people should have been running everywhere. You know, there was nobody there. Now, I know they haven't built anything there yet, but just beyond the trees where they're going to build stuff in, there are $800,000 homes in there, and those people are not happy. And you should see all the for sale signs in there, because I rode back there, too.
Well, Rocky, West Ashley Circle is a perfect example of stupid government. It was sold as something that would reduce traffic congestion. It has nothing to do with the traffic. There's no order to it. The whole purpose was to allow the developer to build apartments and retail centers there, and it's called a gathering place. It's also part of the sustainable living agenda, and it was a big mistake. That area is wetlands too, and we're going to have more drainage problems if it's developed. I think the road never should have been built, and the county council should have known better than to approve it.
Right, and I was talking about the homes for sale back in there. I can't remember the name, but it's part of Shadow Moss. It's the outer end of it, and there are some big homes there with horses and whatnot in there, and there's a lot of for sale signs out there. They're upset about that. I understand the beautification process too, but my question is, when they put the trees up on Bees Ferry, did they kill them on purpose and knock them down, or are they just falling over? What's with that? They spent how much money on trees?
And I guess they decided not to water the trees. So once again, stupid government. We can't allow that.
I've heard that somebody told me that the ground there, because Bees Ferry spent such a long time as a dirt road and most of the widened area that they put in there, that it has so much gasoline and stuff built up in it that the ground doesn't grow anything. And I'll tell you, I ride my bike up and down there on the Larry Shirley bike trail there. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's called. You can see that the grass doesn't grow there well either.
Well, once again, this was swampland, and swampland doesn't drain real well. It holds water, but it doesn't filter through like sandy soil.
What do you think it's going to take to get the water off the road and away, and where does it go?
Well, we're going to have to take a look at the engineering for our whole drainage system, but it starts with preventive maintenance and making sure ditches are cleaned and pipes are blown out, and that hasn't been done. There's so much more that needs to be done. And by the way, I've heard government employees say there's nothing we can do about the drainage problem. You'll never hear me say there's nothing we can do about anything. We can do it, and we will.
Any politician that tells you, any elected official that tells you there's nothing you can do about the drainage problem, take them out there and stand them in the puddle. Say, what do you think of it now? There you go.
Or the people who had their property damaged because of the rains in October. Are there people in Hickory Farms who are still out of their homes?
Yeah, it's like when I got thrown out of the Dorchester County meeting one time because I suggested they build this new scattered site housing area right next to where every judge is. You guys are the ones making the decisions. You live with them. Okay? You're going to bring people in, going to bring in the Syrians, put them on your lawn. That'll stop it. That'll stop it. I don't know who wants to bring them in. And here's everybody's favorite subject, taxes. We just passed another tax, did we not?
Well, we haven't passed it, but it was
will.
proposed. And here's how these sales tax increases work. The Chamber of Commerce creates a nonprofit. They hire a lobbyist. They come up with a slick advertising campaign and convince everybody how their lives will be better with a higher sales tax. We already have an 8.5% sales tax, the highest in the state, and now they want to make it 9%. They're going to hurt middle-income Americans in West Ashley, and they're going to hurt the retailers who don't have as big a customer base because such a big chunk is taken out of their money. So, bad idea. The project list did not include a penny for 526, and it included $600 million for mass transit that nobody wants.
Now, this morning, as we're taping this, is just before we got here, it was nixed. The money to put into 526 was nixed. Is there any way to get that back? Because both Summies were angry. Tecklenburg was angry. Everybody was mad. If everybody hates the idea of nixing the money for 526, then how did it happen?
Well, the money was approved back in 2012 by the State Infrastructure Board, and for whatever reason, they turned around 4 years later and decided we're not going to get that $435 million. and the county was going to pay 300 plus million in matching funds. So now we're back to square one, and maybe we need to go back to the State Transportation Infrastructure Board and ask for other projects like the widening of Main Road and the overpass at Savannah Highway and widening of 41 in Mount Pleasant. But it looks like they're totally against the 526, and we're going to have to figure out how to get it done.
Well, with all the new people moving here and the thousands of homes being built and these little new driveways being built that people are going to have to funnel in and out of, okay, all at once, by the way, nobody able to make a left turn unless somebody lets them in. There's going to be even more of a backup at 526 and Savannah Highway. It's backed up now all the way up the hill every time at 2 in the afternoon.
Right. And we'll have more traffic accidents and higher car insurance. There are a lot of problems related to this unprecedented growth.
Now, you talked about fighting the sales tax increase. Where do we go to do that?
Well, the thing is, the people for the sales tax increase typically have all the money, and they have the public relations arm and the advertising campaign. We're going to need regular citizens who are tired of paying such high sales tax to stand up and say, no, we're not going to take it anymore, and I'm willing to lead that fight.
All right, John Steinberger, candidate for Charleston County Council. What is not being done right now by the council person who holds that chair that you're running for that needs to be done more than anything else?
Well, the person holding that seat right now, Colleen Condon, is not running for re-election, so I don't want to make this about Colleen Condon.
Okay.
It's about what John Steinberger can do to bring leadership to the Charleston County Council, and that's what I'm all about. I'll be accessible. I'll respond to phone calls and emails. People can call me at 410-9747 or email me at john@westashleyproud.com. I listen to people. I don't take no for an answer, and I will bring people together, whether it's county council, Charleston City Council, St. Andrews Public Service District, or our state legislative delegation, and we're going to get things done. We're going to solve problems.
All right. And for those people who don't know you, John Steinberger, family man, you've lived here how long in West Ashley?
Been in West Ashley since '83, and I encourage everybody to visit my website, westashleyproud.com. And once again, email me at john@westashleyproud.com. And together, we're going to improve West Ashley and make it the best place to live, work, and play in Charleston County.
All right. John Steinberger running for Charleston County Council. That's District 7. For those of you who are putting numbers on things, that's it right there. Good luck.
Well, thanks, Rocky D. We're going to give it a fight.